and welcome to my home, and thank you for joining me today for my end of year wrap up. My name is Mel and this is my cross stitch channel called Patchy Pony Stitcher. It's pretty much a video about cross stitch, but there are a few other crafts that'll be thrown in. And today, the 27th of November, I'm going to do my end of year wrap up video. I won't be filming in December because it will be crazy busy and there'll be so much floss tube available. So there'll be plenty of content for you all during December. So what have I got for you today? I do have some fully finished objects. I've also been stitching like a mad woman on my Jingle Ball project and some other Christmas projects that I've been enjoying. I've got some of my previous Christmas stitching to show you and another craft that I've had some fun with this week. So let's get into it. I hope you've all been well. I do appreciate you coming in and spending some time with me, especially if you're a returning subscriber. And if you're new and this is the first time you've been visiting, welcome, and I hope you would subscribe. So let's get into my fully finished and I'll show you what I've got today. So I've got 3 fully finished objects. This one I'm going to show you first of all is a bit of an oldie that I've had going for a while. It is Let's Get Awesome by Stitch Rovia. So this is what the chart looks like. And this is my piece fully finished in a little frame. So this is just one that I will put up into my craft room. And this was just a challenge stitch that the reason for the stitch, it wasn't for any, like a gift or anything particular. This one is on a 32 count the sparkly fabric with DMC. So that is Let's Get Awesome by Stitch Rovia. The next one that I'm going to show you is another Mill Hill finish. I'm going to pop a little video in here of all my other current Mill Hill finishes. I do like to do one a year, so I think I've got about 5 or 6 already on the tree. So I'm going to pop that in for you while before I show you my new one. Okay, so the first one that I have for you is the Christmas wreath. These are not in chronological order, they're just as I found them on the tree. Then we have my Santa, and then the gingerbread house, Celtic Santa, and my favourite, the gnome. They are so much fun to do. If you haven't done a Mill Hill stitch before, I strongly recommend it. They're quick stitches, but also very rewarding because they finish up very quickly as well. So this year I did the rocking horse. So this is this little guy all finished with the gems on. I did do a little change on this one. If you've done this one yourself, the beads in the white beads are quite big. So I did decide to just make those into smaller beads with beads that I had from my stash. And then what I had is some adhesive felt, cut it all out, pop it on. My little 2024 charm goes on the back. And this one is ready for the tree today. He is super cute. However, I think the gnome still is my favourite out of all the ones I've done. So that is the rocking horse Christmas ornament. Now, my favourite finish that I have been working on since, I think this has been going on 4 years. It's taken me to finish this project. And it is called Quaker Christmas 2 by Bygone Stitches. If you're a returning subscriber, you've seen the cover page many times and it's not a great cover page. So I'm going to show you, because it's so big, I can't actually hold it in screen and I couldn't do an overhead properly because it's so large. So I'm going to pop in a still photo here for you to see. And what I did this particular one on is 32 count even weave, just a white 32 count even weave with DMC 115. And I cannot tell you how many skeins this took because I did not count. I originally bought 4 and I must have at least gone through 8 to 10 skeins because I remember going to Spotlight quite a few times and adding one into the shopping cart every time I went there, and I really only came out with maybe half a skein. Actually, no, I actually had to finish this one off, one last motif with Cottage Garden threads, Hugs and Kisses, and you would not be able to tell. It's very much the same. The DMC does have a longer stretch of variegation, but the colouring is very, very similar. So if you're ever stuck and you've run out of this and you need a little bit more, the DMC 115 will fix that for you. So I guess you want to, like, I'm going to try and show you as much as I can. Right, sorry about that. I had to move the camera so I could get a good position for, there we go. So the chart itself required the text or the Christmas Carol titles to be in green. I decided to stay with red, the same thread all the way through. And I have changed some of the carols to be ones that are my favourites that weren't missing. So Jingle Bell Rock was one of the ones, is one of my favourites. So I had to change that one. So if you're going by the chart, you won't get Jingle Bell Rock on it. And I also put in All I Want for Christmas. And I also put in I'll Be Home for Christmas as well. So they were different ones. I think the rest is pretty much as charted. I am so happy with this. And the more I look at it, the more I see carols within the motifs, like Partridge in a Pear Tree, the Little Drummer Boy. I'm sure there's more that I have missed. But yeah, there's lots of additional carols in this piece through the motifs. My favourite motif of all was this circle one with silver bells, and I've reused that particular part of the Quaker for a small. And it is probably something like, for example, this one you could do as a small as well, or the stars. So this sort of chart is very handy to have in your stash for all sorts of different small projects. They've got beautiful Christmas ornaments. So this is, as you can see, quite big, very big. Now the frame I got for this was just, if I turn it around, this is just what came out like a big dollar store here in Australia. And, oh no, you can't really see it. It was just a raw sort of timber, and then I just whitewashed it with some white and then put Mod Podge over, like gave it a coat of Mod Podge to seal it, and I'm really happy with how that turned out. It was either that or black, and the black was going to be far too heavy, so I'm really happy with how Quaker Christmas 2 turned out. Super, super thrilled. Editing Mel coming back, realising that I forgot to show you one of my fully finishes that I was so excited to show you that I haven't even put it on Instagram yet because I've been holding off because I wanted to show it on my video first, was my little reel that I finished. So this I started at the Halloween retreat, and if you saw in my last video, I'd only just done the text and I hadn't completed it as yet, but it is completed and it is so cute. I'm so happy with how this turned out. So this is how it sits on the shelf. This little bird, I just had it in my stash of bits and bobs and it just sits in there perfectly. I was so wrapped with that. So I'll show you what it looks like. So it's just held together with a silk ribbon. And how do I reel it this way? So I just did appliqued a little heart on there, and I've got stitched a heart, put a little flower charm on there, another little button, put the year charm in, two little birds and another heart, and I'll show you and then I've just also another flower which is helping hold the piece onto the spool. And then I had this ribbon in my stash that was just the perfect width to back it so you can't see the stitching on the back. And so here it is in its entirety. This Bible verse was said during our wedding ceremony, so it's got some special meaning to my husband and I. And I just love how this turned out. and it just simply and it's just, the spool is beautiful. I'm just, yeah, I couldn't have been happier with how this is. So I don't have it displayed like, or I could do during Valentine's or our wedding anniversary when I pop things out on display there, but otherwise I just have it rolled up with the ribbon tied around it, and if anyone wants to open it, they can have a look at it. So really happy with how this turned out. So I can't believe I nearly forgot to put that in. I was so happy with how that was. So after the retreat, it was this that I finished, and also the first day of Christmas tree. Okay, the next piece I'm going to show you is a finish for now. It is my homework stitching for the Jingle Ball. It didn't have to be done before the Jingle Ball, but once that class comes out, I want to get straight on to finishing. I don't want to have to wait. So this is the project that, or the class that I'm taking, which is the Winter Wonderland Star Pillow by Hello from Liz Matthews. So I am in Australia, so I obviously couldn't get the kit, so I just did the PDF, and I got that pretty much within a day or two of ordering or signing up for the class. Now, it does say it was recommended 36 count for Duxbury linen from Fox and Rabbit, or vintage country mocha from Zweigart. However, who likes stitching snowflakes? Not me. And I have this lovely piece of Petty Point. So I stitched mine on the Petty Point 36. Actually, no, I think this one's a 32 count. Petty Point, and I think it turned out just as lovely as it would have if it had the stitched snowflakes in it. So really happy. This only really took probably only 5 or so hours. I didn't get to stitch it all in one go. I was just stitched a tree here and there, and then the reindeer and so forth. So, and it only has quite a few colors in it. I wasn't sure about the red and the gold, to be honest. And now that it's done, I really do love it, because most of my theme on my tree is red and gold, so it does fit in very well. So during the class, Liz will show us how to do the, I guess it's going to be like a Biscornu finish. I think, I don't know. I feel nervous about doing this on the sewing machine, but we'll see what happens. And then we've got the beaded trim. It says it does say how many beads to use. About 500 seed beads or 15 grams of beads, and I have heaps left over from my Mill Hill kit. They're not all going to be the same color, so I'm probably going to be using clear, gold, green and red, like Christmas colors, to do the beading around the outside. So I'm really looking forward to doing that. I'm probably not going to try and finish along with her in the class. I'll watch the video. We get to have the video for 30 days available. So I'll watch it first live during the Jingle Ball, and probably stringing those beads together, and then take my time slowly doing it at a later time without feeling like I've got to be keeping up with how she's going. So with the Jingle Ball, I'll be popping in and out of that from time to time. Our time zones are a little bit different here. So, and also I've got a high tea on that particular day for a stitching time here in Hobart. We've got a little get together at a lovely old hotel here. So a stitching day, it's from 10:30 till 3, high tea and stitching time. So that's a big block that I won't be at the Jingle Ball, but certainly enjoying some Christmas stitching with my local stitchy friends there. So I was very focused on the Woodland Star. Once that was finished, I went to my next Christmas project that I've been working on, and that is my second day of Christmas tree, also by Liz Matthews. So this one I started at the Halloween retreat in October, also by a Stitch in Time in Hobart, that Fox and Rabbit were the guests at. So my first tree I started at a retreat, and now my second one is also started at a retreat. So I've got a bit of a theme happening with my days of Christmas. So when I go to the the Stitching Merchants retreat next year, I'll probably be starting the 3rd day of Christmas. So hopefully this one will be finished, but I am very inspired at the moment to continue on just stitching. So this is where I was after the retreat. I hadn't done a great deal. And this is where I'm up to now. So I've put it in another couple of days of stitching. Now this is on a 32 count linen. I'm not sure what the name is, as it was a piece that was gifted to me by one of my stitchy friends, but it's beautiful and soft to work on. I actually really enjoy it, and I will have enough to do 2 trees, if not maybe 3 on this piece. Now, I do want my trees to all be different shapes, not shapes, all different sizes. So as a reminder, that's where my tree 2 is. This is tree number 1. Now, the patterns are identical, so you can see that this one's going to be quite a bit bigger than the first one. So if you haven't seen my first tree, this is it. And when ultimately I want my trees to be different fabrics, all different sizes, different, like when I say different fabrics, I mean different color, different count, maybe even some Ada ones in there, because I do want to be able to place them like a forest and have big trees and small trees. However, all the threads are called for and the DMCs are used throughout the set or the series, so they are in keeping with each other, which is great. So they do work well together, even if the fabrics and the sizing is all different. So just started the tail of one of the turtle doves, and I will probably take this one also to the high tea to continue stitching on, because it's quite a relaxing stitch. It's not overly complicated. Now I've already made a change. As you can see in Liz Matthews, she did put family initials in hers. I did not. I just put windows in mine. And I really like it. And I've had to do like a little bit of back stitch for the window panes, and I'm really, really pleased with how that's come out. So that's all the stitching I've done really since the retreat. Was finish off the little rocking horse ornament, complete my woodland star, which was a new start and a finish, and also continue on with my 2nd day of Christmas. Now, previously to, I think maybe September, I was a challenge stitcher. I was chopping and changing my projects every 300 stitches and completing challenges, which I really enjoyed at the time. I've now found that I'm really enjoying the monogamy stitching. I came back from retreat in September or August, September, and wanted to complete that first Christmas tree, and I just stayed with it, and I was really, really pleased, and I really enjoyed the progress of seeing something come along quite in a quick progress. So, and then doing the woodland star the same. So I'm going to find it difficult to put down the 2nd day of Christmas. So what my thought process is for next year is to put all my projects into a wheel and maybe stitch, like change out only once a week. So rather than changing every 300 stitches, stick with the same project for once a week, and then spin the wheel and add new, like maybe a new start wedge into that wheel as well. So I do have that coming up, but not have it also that it's not repetitive. So clear it every time. So you might get the same project come up twice in a month. Who knows? So that's my thinking for next year's plans, so loose plans. I also want to participate in ABC, Singo and Bringo as my challenges, because they're not an ongoing challenge. They're more of a brief challenge. So I am part of the Daily 30 Facebook group where I predominantly got my challenges from, and where I'm uploading the before and after photos too. They have announced that they're going to be changing the format for next year, for 2025, to something different. I'm not sure how different it will be, so I'm going to hold in there and see if it's something to my liking. And if it is, I might continue on with their challenges if it's a little bit more lengthy, or just participate in their special events. Like they have pop-up weekend ones and so forth. So looking forward to touching more whips, but I really do want to keep stitching on the piece that I have been stitching on the second day of Christmas. So we'll see. But I also need to get back to my full coverage and my consider the lilies. So we'll see where those urges take me and what I end up stitching on next year, but I don't want to hold myself down to set plans. So I did have another little craft project that I've been working on. I saw this as a reel, I think on Instagram, and thought it was a great idea. So I don't know how to share a reel into a video. I don't even know if that's possible. So I'll show you a photo of, well, essentially what it is some glass bowls and vessels from your thrift shop or your op shop, lights in them. Actually, I don't know whether, yeah, it must have had lights in them, and glue them all together in the shape of a tree. And I thought, sounds great. So I went to my local op shop, found everything I needed in the one store. It was fantastic. Got my E6000, and I'll pop some the progress in here of those for you. But that was such a great little project. Cost me $10 for the dishes, a couple of bucks for the lights. The glue I had to buy, but certainly use that for multiple projects from here on in. And I'm absolutely thrilled with how it turned out. I had this old spool that I used for my little vignettes anyway, so it fitted perfectly. I have not glued that onto the wooden spool. That will remain, that I can just take that off. It's probably going to be a bit cumbersome to store outside of Christmas, but I absolutely love how it came out. And over nighttime, it just looks so cute and just glows in the corner. I'm really happy with how that turned out. So if you are looking for a quick Christmas craft or something just to fill a corner where you haven't got any decorations or can't find something to your liking, give this one a go, because it's cheap and it's fun and it's pretty quick to put together. So I've got some other Christmas crafts up my sleeve. I like to make my own Christmas cracker bonbons rather than using the store-bought ones, and I like to put little handmade gifts in those. So I've got something up my sleeve for those, but I can't say what that will be. I'll show you after Christmas. And of course, Christmas cooking. We'll be doing some Rocky Road again as usual, and other little Christmas goodies. So I'll give you a little tour of what my Christmas decor looks like and my stitching that's in them. Just for your perusal, I wasn't going to go through each and every piece. If there's something there that catches your eye and you want to know what chart it is, just pop a comment down below and I'll be more than happy to tell you what chart it is or what it was stitched on and so forth. So I'll pop that little video in here now for you. Now, I've also recently finished redoing my craft room. I pulled everything out because it was not a bright purple, but it was a purple paint from 15 years ago. And it's also my working space when I work from home. And I wanted something a little bit more relaxing. And I also wanted to be able to put up my stitches that I didn't particularly want out in the general house area. So I've turned my craft room into a gallery. So I guess you could call it. So I'll pop that in here now. I'll pop the little video so you can see all my stitching on my craft walls as well, on my craft room walls as well. So welcome to my craft room. It's not overly big. This is just a little snippet of how I've displayed some of my stitching until I bring it out from time to time, depending on what the season is and so forth. So I've got all my needle minders just in a hoop with some fabric. And then I've got some stitching up here. These are all my miscellaneous threads from leftover kits or mill hills or things that people have given me that don't really, I wasn't sure of their numbers, so they just get stored like that. And when I'm doing those smalls, I can pull from there. And on my other wall, I have more stitching on display. So I don't really have a great deal of room. I've only got that left. So I need to be very mindful on what I stitch and where I'm going to place it. So this is just my storage, my workspace. Let's bring you in for a little bit closer. Gold work. Okay, back to the main video. Well, that's about it from me. So I hope you all have a wonderful Christmas. I hope you have a fantastic December with the lead up to Christmas, all the fun and the joy that comes with, and anticipation and the gift giving and the gift buying. It's all a lot of fun. I do enjoy Christmas. We're going to be celebrating early this year. We're choosing to have ours on the 23rd of December because we've got a police officer in the family and a paramedic. My husband works at the biosecurity at the airport, and I work for an airline. So we're all going to be really busy at that time. 3 out of us 4 are going to be working on Christmas afternoon. So rather than trying to squeeze a Christmas Day celebration in the morning, we're choosing to have ours a bit earlier where we can relax and enjoy the day with other family members coming and visiting as well. So looking forward to that. So I hope you all have a safe Christmas. Get lots of stitching in, lots of relaxing. Here in Australia it's summer, so there's lots of outdoor time as well. So I don't know how much stitching I'll get in, but I certainly will get some in where I can. So until I see you in 2025, take care everyone. Bye.